In my second year of marriage, I tried to commit suicide. I used to live in Greenwich, and I remember stepping out in front of a bus and causing the bus to swerve. I tried again, and before I could step out in front of a car, I heard someone shout my name from the fish market behind me. It's one of the uncles, you know, in church growing up, or family friends, you got the uncles, didn't you? So he's not related, but he's one of the uncles. But for that uncle to be in a fish market just behind me and call my name, there's a great saying, coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. He said, Jay, what are you doing? I said, screw this, man. I'm tired of being what everyone expects me to be. I just want to be me. I was like, I got married too young. I got married because, yeah, she's like, this is the woman I'm supposed to be with, but I'm not ready to be with her. I'm still a boy. She thinks she got a man. I'm not. I ain't that guy. And before this gets too far down the road and we have kids, let me just put her out of her misery. But I realized it all centered around the lack of proximity that I had with my dad. I realized I was so inspired by my dad, but because of the lack of proximity, I felt like I was so far from him. I was trying to be something that I stood no chance of becoming. That began a journey of really difficult conversations with my old man, being honest with him. The times where I feel he let me down, where he'd fathered so many people, but I feel like I was at the bottom of the food chain. I'd missed out. In that moment, flipping it, what I'm giving him right now is hard to hear that from your son. I remember in the moment going, mate, bravo, you're taking this on the chin. You must be a good man. But I know it was hard for him. I got to the place where I could pray for my dad and say, God bless him. His old man ain't nowhere near the strength of fathering that he is. Fast forward, my dad's my best friend, and I realized my point of crisis definitely came from not feeling like I had a space to be vulnerable and to communicate my feelings. In fact, in some ways, with certain other father figures in my life at the time, I even felt a bit gaslit that actually, no, you just need to grow thicker skin. I realize now, particularly now that I'm older, no, you lot felt it too. But in the name of survival or your own past trauma, we discredited what I was feeling at the time. And that contributed to getting me to a place of crisis. Jesus, I think, was honest with his disciples. Completely. I can see that. It's in the pages, isn't it? He wasn't into hiding things. Just thinking of like when he was praying, he told a few of them, come with me, I'm gonna go and pray, stay up and pray with me. He was being honest. This isn't an easy time ahead. Giving them the heads up, hey, something bad's around the corner. Part of me would like to think that he wasn't just telling them that as a form of just like information. Yo, this is what's gonna happen. Part of me maybe is thinking that prayer, not my will, but your will be done, and that whole grief that he felt in the garden before he was arrested, perhaps he was telling his disciples, his boys, yo, this is gonna happen. And it was with sunken shoulders, but I'm giving you a heads up. It's gonna be okay. And perhaps they didn't understand that vulnerability until way after, when they realized, oh, he was showing us something, demonstrating becoming flesh, God becoming flesh, and that he knows and feels the stuff that humans do. And so for the rest of the people around him, and even for those disciples, some hung upside down, crucified upside down, others stoned, etc., etc. Actually, no, these things aren't easy. He's been through it. It's gonna be okay. He's felt what we felt. He's not separated from the fear or the anxiety or the, God, I want to do this to please you, but I know this ain't gonna be easy. He's been through that. That vulnerability has given us permission to feel seen and not feel like we've got to be superheroes. That to me is great fathering. A lot of the time I'll have conversations with my 8-year-old. He'll ask me, how's your day, Dad? First of all, I'm thinking, bruv, you're 8 years old, I ask big man questions. But actually, that's the culture we've got. And I've kind of built that culture with him. And then I say, yo, I had to have a difficult conversation with a client, son. And he'll say, why, what happened? And I'll explain in part what's happened and what it made me feel. so that he can understand. He may have to have difficult conversations, but it's okay. Win the person, not the argument, etc., etc. The more fathers can be vulnerable with sons will help sons to feel a bit more normal and stand a chance of becoming better fathers.
Thanks so much for watching. You might be aware that Stream Studio is a crowd-funded non-profit, and if you'd be interested to see more videos like the one you've just watched, perhaps you'd consider a small monthly donation. There's a link in our bio which will give you full details.